So this is going to come as a big surprise. Do you know what the Burgund is on?
Huru control potentially?
Yeah.
Shocking absolutely no one in the world. Now the real question though would be, are they running back their Huru control from the Invitational, or have they adjusted it since then with any of the changes? I'm not sure any of the major changes, any of the balance changes would change what Huru is bringing. Really, it's just the bring to justice, I bet, but you're just going to still play that, I would think.
There's actually no Bring to Justice in this deck.
Yeah, there's no bring to justice. Interesting.
Which, yeah, it got worse, but if I'm playing Huru Control, I would still personally be playing Bring to Justice, because if it mattered that much, I just wouldn't be playing Huru Control, although I guess that's not an option here.
True.
And Roshi's on Marius Mandrake Mask of Torment, which is a very cool deck.
That is super interesting. I'm going to have to pull that one up. That is super
So
interesting.
The idea here is you play Marius Mandrake, Even-Handed Golem, a bunch of ultimate cards, and Mask of Torment. And actually, there's only one mask this time, but Marius Mandrake makes all your Grafters and your Damara and stuff. Like, what other... I guess there's no other ultimates here, but yeah, it makes those cards cost less to activate. And they're already... Except for the Grafters, those like are already cards that are, you know, they don't have the craziest ultimates, so making them cheaper is a pretty big discount. And yeah, Golem helps you find Marius Mandrake. There's some Void synergies here. You know, we see how many vows? Like 10 vows because of Hourglass. So there's the deck with Grasping at Shadows running around that plays the vows and the Hourglass, but Roshi's saying, no, I'm gonna play a bunch of small units and use that power to activate ultimates, which I think is a cool decision, because if you have experience playing with and against that Reanimator Hourglass deck, a lot of the power comes from just the ramp it has, and fewer games than you think are going to come down to Grasping at Shadows.
All right, here's our Hurler. Draw the Snowball. Then we've got lots of draws off of Helio. It's nice when Helio draws you 7 cards off of the 5, including those 2 Snowballs. So double Hurler off that is going to get you 2 Snowballs, a Just Desserts, a Wisdom. So lots of cards drawn there.
And we just saw Roshi play Bergund's Savage Incursion that Roshi must have gotten with Damara, and
that's pretty sweet.
You know, Bergund put that into the market for control mirrors, so it's pretty great for Roshi.
And get this. I want to give a little bit of the hand on screen for everybody. I know that's missing a little bit, so let me move that up so everybody can see the featured player's hand. So Scourge is a scary card a lot of the time, but here it's not as big of a deal. Roshi has 4 copies of Icaria, First Reaper. And also 3 Desert Alchemists, so this isn't game over the way it sometimes is. And Katra might actually get big. Oh, I was going to say Katra might get big. Turn to Seed's nice answer for that. I'm going to get Vision of Austerity here. I don't know exactly what they have left in their market, but Vision doesn't seem like it'll do oh, it answers Mask. Yeah, you don't care about the extraction effect or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's going to hit the Mask, though, and that's going to take that out cleanly. And now with that Scourge of Frostholm here, let's see if we can pull up. I got Roshi's hand, so let me turn on the hand cam for everyone. Well, they're going to have to enable spectating, so no hand cam for this one. We'll try to get that for everybody in a minute. Well, they have Crawl in their market. Yeah. So Crawl could get back some
big stuff, or it could get back another or I guess I don't know if they're going for Kroll, but a common line is just juggling Kroll back and forth. Although at 12 life, that's a bit scarier.
Right, here comes that Azendel, a couple of Helices here. Us playing out that Kroll. You don't really see Kroll hardcast very often, but here or cast on the board at all. But here you go. All right, turn to seed, and that's going to hit the Azendel. Stop that. Turn off that card draw for Roshi. Alliance and Seat of Order.
So, despite having 7 cards in hand, the Bergund, well, I guess they can Defiance those, but they don't have a way to quickly end this game.
Yeah, not really. All right, now we've got that hand cam up, so let's see what Roshi is working with here. Looks like we've got a Desert Alchemist, we've got a Devour and a Treasure Trove, which of course are turned off from that Scourge of Frostholm, so can't draw cards either, but just really a Desert Alchemist here. Desert Alchemist, I guess, nice if that Scourge ever tries to attack, but of course with plenty of answers from the Bergund in hand, it's not going to work out the way they want to, but good in theory.
Are we going to see Roshi take damage? No, they're not taking damage. That's a smart play. That's valuing the life more than the small thinning effect. This is kind of a weird board state because it's basically a race here. You have these decks that are generally trying to grind each other out, but
yeah,
it's centered around that Helio right now. It's not the Scourge that's doing the most.
Yeah. Also worth noting, we're hoping it doesn't come up too much, of course, but due to the new size and everything, we did implement a timer for the rounds now. So that's also, we're not quite there yet, but it's also something to think about. If this is still game 1 for these players, you are going to have to end the game in a period of time. We're not going to be able to sit and, play forever. So that may change things as well. Bergund's going to have to pull out some way to win the game after they've controlled the board.
Yeah, I wonder how much of their deck building, or I'm sure not a lot, but it'll maybe be a little bit more than before, just making sure they can end the game. 4 Stormholt Knife has worked in the past, but it can be a bit slow.
All right, Hailstorm the draw here. Hailstorm's actually not terrible here, although it does take out your 2 hurlers. It's a clean answer to the Grafter and the 3 seeds. This still has regen. The Vinegrafter still has regen.
What are the seeds at?
4.
4? Oh yeah. If they went one more turn, they would start threatening. I guess I don't know if it's exactly lethal, but it's with the other stuff on the board that might be lethal. Just eyeballing it, and Just Desserts can't answer seeds.
That's true. You have 3, so you have 3 snowballs in hand. Can go to face with 3 of them. Put Roshi down to 1. Can you find a way to deal 1 more damage to Roshi?
Will those snowballs go? Oh yeah, I think they just have to answer those threats.
Yeah, they're going to answer all 3 threats. But that's fine too, especially when you have the Scourge of Frostholm out here. And still able to keep up Just Desserts and Defiance if needed.
Oh, we might see the Alchemist snipe that Scourge. But the Bergund seems to be wanting to play around that.
Yeah. They're playing it very cautiously. Draw another bunch of cards. Drawing 3 cards off of Helio is fine. Drawing Helio when you have 16 Primal Influence is something else.
Yeah, I think the debate of is Helio still amazing after the nerf has been settled for a long time now. You know what? 6 is more than 5, but nothing does what Helio does.
Yeah.
There's no card that offers the same amount of raw card advantage.
From that Speed Grafter, is there anything even left that Roshi can get? No, not really. I don't know if there's anything. Praxis Vow? No, they can get Ascendant Agent there.
So, well, Bergund might be thinking about trying to find, so a lot of players would be thinking about trying to find a harsh rule here because harsh rule plus knife is theoretically lethal.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bergund seems to know that there could be an alchemist to screw that up. And if you go for that line, you're probably not coming back from getting rid of your own Scourge. We saw them discard a harsh rule earlier to an Honor of Claws.
Right. And that's gonna be enough. Roshi's gonna tap it in. 17 power for each of those players. Ooh, that was a long one, but they are through there. So let's take a look. This is the have Roshi Xenon Ultimates here pulled up on screen with the Marius Mandrake there. I have a feeling that was just game 1 between those 2 players, so we're gonna see it if we jump down to another one here. But that was a lot there. Maybe we need to make our notes to put the Bergunds match last, so that they're to make sure we catch the end of that. But they're gonna jump right back in. So let's head down to the action for game 2.
We can always rely on them being there if we need to.
If we need to give one more match. Yeah, exactly.
Although if they were playing aggro, we'd want to be going sooner because the Bergund is a great player to watch. You see how many things they play around, and you can tell there's just so much going on in their head. They're just a master of this archetype.
Throw that Cobalt Waystone to the bottom.
So far, this is going kind of how Roshi wants it to. An early Hourglass and an early Golem.
That early Golem's pretty good. Gonna draw a Speed Grafter and a Katra, the first seal for Roshi. So their hand's pretty stacked, and they've got the power to do so. The problem is the Bergund's deck is just full of answers. So is Roshi going to be able to pack a punch through here and actually end this game in any sort of timely manner, or is the Bergund just gonna keep controlling the board here and make Roshi's life miserable?
What did Roshi get there? Azendel?
No, they got Grodov Stranger. That one.
Okay. That makes sense. it has charge. That's why they're going to play. That makes sense. I was thinking that maybe.
Yeah, Grodov Stranger with charge is pretty sweet. I like that.
And so I think at this point, Roshi's aware there's going to be a harsh rule. Bergund just has enough ways to find it. So that Stranger is, you have to harsh rule this. I'm going to try to rebuild afterward and hope you don't have a second one. Or, I guess, if they've stunned it, they don't have to. So that's now the Bergund saying, play more stuff into this harsh rule.
Yeah.
Roshi's at 9 power now.
Here There's another charge unit. I like the speed grafters in this matchup, giving both the 2 damage from charge, but also just giving, like we saw last turn, giving some of these random threats in their hand charge really helps you dodge, the harsh rolls and the hailstorms of the world.
It creates kind of this inflection point of inevitability. I don't know if that the right. I'm still working on the right term for that, but control decks you generally think of as having inevitability. But if they're at a low enough life total against a deck that can deal damage without a board, that switches, and the control has to become the beatdown.
Yeah. Now they went, so the second time they went Azendel in hand that time and gave the Azendel charge, which I assume we're going to see here on this next turn.
That is, well, I guess only one, no cards drawn because of the Aegis, but that's still just a huge threat.
You're going to go the Vine Grafter first. I wonder, are you going to give the Azendel regen also? Went and got Kroll from the market there.
So that's going to get back a speed
charge. It's a charge. Grodom Stranger. Yes, that's right. The Grodom Stranger still has charge in the void. That was a huge heads up play there by Roshi. Crawling back your 7/7 charge Grodom Stranger. Pretty nice.
I need to play this deck after the tournament today.
And you know what? You know what Roshi has set up here with the charge on the Azendel. The Bergund has to clear the board and have an instant speed answer, a fast spell to answer the Azendel. Otherwise, they're just dead on board right now. So here comes.
So to your question of can Roshi end the game quickly, the answer is yes.
Yeah, those speed chargers, innocuously, those are a lot better than I gave them credit for here. Those speed chargers seem key in this matchup. And there you go. Roshi's going to tie it up 1-1 on the back of double charging or playing 2 copies of a